Hey guys, welcome back to Harder Trespia. We are playing episode 2, The Blurred Line Between Good and Bad. Alright, let's go. Okay, so last time we ran away from the castle because it was lying to us and we got captured by the sexy bandit lady. And so let's see where that goes from there. Chapter 2, Friends in All Places. The female bandit eyed wide up and down, clicking her tongue as she slid her fingertip along his fine silver armor. Sanded, polished, coat of oil. You got your own squire, pretty boy? Have you even been in a real fight before? Oh, stop baring your teeth at me. Do you even know how to use that jeweled sword of yours? Why don't you cut me out of this and find out for yourself? You could feel Wyatt's muscles tightening against your back while the bandit triumphantly laughed. Come gather some branches with me, Taki. It's time to set a fire and inspect our loot. Taki? Keep your filthy hands off of us. Let's hold his hand. Leaning your head backward, you wrapped your palm around Wyatt's clenched fist and whispered into his ear. It's all right, Wyatt. I felt to protect you. You gave him an encouraging nudge. If my life is to end here today, I'm just glad it's with you, Wyatt. I'll die before I let them lay a finger on you. Looking around cautiously, you saw the tall, slender woman approaching. Don't let these people know who we really are. They may... Your hush whisper came to a stop when brisk footsteps, accompanied by a faint scent of tanned leather, led the female bandit into your line of sight. By the ancestors. A soft finger lifted your chin up. Though reluctant, you gave in to your curiosity and met her dark gaze, which almost lit up in amusement. Well, aren't you a pretty little vixen? Just look at those eyes, you all. Look at those eyes, you all. How many people are here? In a twisted grin, the female bandit waved casually toward your back. A large group of leather-armored bandits surrounded you immediately. Flickering torches cast eerie shadows on their already terrifying scarred faces. We're gonna have some fun with you, princess. I'm actually a queen. Your heart skipped a beat as the bandit pinched your cheek with a wry smirk, drawing an involuntary gasp through your lips. Hey, keep your filthy hands off my... Your what? Release her at once or you will face the consequences, bandit. Look around you, young man. You're in no position to make demands. Well, I'll challenge you to a duel. If I win, you let us go. If you win, you can have my life, but you still let her go. Why, no. A duel does sound fun, but I'd much rather just relieve you of your riches. Your horses, weapons, armor, silvers. Female bandit lifted the loose fabric on your gown with a finger, inspecting it. Oh, I'm so taking this beautiful silk gown. She's gonna take everything just like that? That's seriously fucked up. Sell them, obviously. Let's cut a deal. I believe we can compromise. Let us settle this matter without bloodshed. Oh, you want to make a deal with the bandit? This should be good. Go ahead, little flower. Humor me. It's our valuables you're after, yes? Take them. Let us keep what we need, and I shall see to it that none of you will be punished for this. Or I could just take everything and kill you both right here. That way we certainly won't suffer any consequences. Before his bandit approached, intimidating you with her piercing gaze, you kept your head up and stared right back, showing no fear. Her clenched jaw gradually softened to an impressed smile. Quite a dauntless kitten, aren't you? Impressive, for someone in a pretty dress. Do we have an agreement, then? Before his bandit shook her head. We take from the rich and exchange their valuables for food. Your luxurious gown alone will feed at least 50 mouths. Are we supposed to believe your little group of bandits is 50 mouths? We're not the only hungry people in Trespia, young man. But I guess rich people like you will never understand how many people must die just for you to have a golden chalice to sip your wine from. She's not wrong. I was indeed sipping wine from a golden chalice just earlier today. Why didn't Uncle Osmond tell me how dire things are here? I'd have tried to do something. Look, you may not believe me, but I want to help. I really do. Well, you're helping all right. Taking everything I value off you and your fancy bodyguard. The bandit unsheathed her dagger, then in a flash, the cold blade found your throat. Not a single move, you two. The rest of the bandits rounded up before you and efficiently began shifting the rocks and disarming the rope trap. You inhaled a breath of fresh air as the tight ropes around your chest finally loosened. One of the bandits lifted your arm up and relieved you of your golden bangle. Your turn, pretty boy. Hand that jeweled sword over. I'll die before I surrender my weapon to you louts. Oh no. Why is not just saying that? His Queensguard oath demands death before surrender. Well, then I'll just lift it off your corpse. Sure. Eat off the ground like you always do, you honorless dog. Offended by such an insult, the enraged bandit swung his sword at Wyatt, nostrils flaring in air. The cold blade left your neck and a loud clash pierced your eyes in the blink of an eye. Gisela? Calm down, Taki. Remember what we are. I know we're not supposed to kill, but can I at least make these snobs bleed a little? Oh, so you were bluffing about killing us. You don't actually kill people. Interesting. You turn your head slightly. The bandits started debating among themselves. Some were defending Wyatt's attacker, some were agreeing with their female leader, who had her back facing you. She's distracted right now. Maybe I can seize her and force these bandits to let us go. Tackle her or signal Wyatt to attack. Tackle. Here goes nothing. In one determined move, you made a swift turn and wrapped your arm around the bandit leader's neck. Need to trip her with my foot now, just like how Wyatt taught me. You swept your foot toward her back leg, but the agile bandit escaped your grasp like a slippery fish. Impressive. The pretty girl's got some moves in her. I tried. Wyatt quickly grasped the situation, intervened, and pushed you out of the bandit's reach. Wyatt? I'll stall them. Go. Get to someplace safe. The clash between your tenacious Queensguard and the frisky bandit leader drew all the attention around you. Looking around for a weapon to help Wyatt, you found your knife laying just a few steps away, its blade underneath the moss you had cut down earlier. I need to move subtly. With your gown covering your moving feet, little by little you managed to shift yourself beside the pile of cut-down moss. You're just a fingertip away from your weapon when ferocious screeches toward the sky above you, attracting every gaze in your direction. Ah! Sprite eagles. Watch out! Excuse me? Excuse me? This thing is sick! Look how cool that is! It's trying to kill us right now, but... Oh... Hold on, I gotta snap that. The clamorous screeching brought forth fast approaching glaring streaks of light across the night sky, a violent gust of wind sent a sprinkle of dirt into your eyes, forcing them closed. You could see the splash of blinding blue colors even through your tightly shut eyelids. Eat that, you feathered bastards. Get down, Taki. My eye! Blinking open your eyes, you found the dark blanket of night lifted and the forest brightly lit. Clusters of flying blue lights overpowered the bandits, making them scamper around as if they were helpless children. You could hear loud clangs behind you as Wyatt parried a series of attacks from a relentless spirit eagle. Even the exceptionally dexterous bandit leader was struggling to defend herself. Amidst a flood of pained howls, one of the giant birds swooped down upon you, knocking you to the ground. Its sharp claws dug into the skin of your back. Should I do roll, smack it, scream, roll? Biting your lip, you ignored the sharp pain and rolled onto your back. The spirit eagle had no choice but to loosen its grip. Yes. Phew. Off you go. With Wyatt's intimidating presence, the eagle soared up and disappeared into the sky. You looked around. Every bandit was fending off a spirit eagle or two, blood dripping from multiple wounds they had suffered. The bandit who pinched your cheek, not only with one eye to see, was disarmed when an exceptionally huge eagle clasped onto his worn sword and threw it up into the tree branches. Sprite eagle. Help! Help! No. Let's get out of here now, my queen. These bandits won't be able to stop us. We should help them, Wyatt. The bandits? Why, my queen? Those villains tried to rob us. We can't turn our backs on it, and besides, I know that they have good reason. They weren't actually going to kill us. It's the right thing to do. These bandits are far from helpless, my queen, but I should do as you ask. You may want to stop addressing me as your queen in front of the commoners, but you are my queen. I swore an oath to never disrespect you. Well then, as the Queen of Trespia, I order you, my Queen's Guard, to come by my name and drop all formalities while we're outside the castle walls. As I recall, the Queen's Guard oath forbids you from disobeying my orders too. Of course, Melody. See? Was that so hard? You reach to the horses and reach into your pack for something to fight against these sprite eagles. Fireweed powder. Maybe this will help. What's that? Fireweed powder is for cauterizing wounds. I don't think these sprite eagles will enjoy breathing it in. Let's go. Fireweed powder. Splitting the fireweed powder with Wyatt, the two of you started blowing it toward the vicious feathered beast. Unexpected burning eyes and lungs forced the sprite eagles to retreat from their assault. One by one, they dimmed the glow in their feathers and vanished into darkness. It's working. Just one way to go. Careful with this one. Look at the size. She may very well be their hen mother. He approached the one-eyed bandit and blew a pinch of fireweed powder toward the larger sprite eagle. Instead of cowering away, the vengeful bird spread her wings and charged toward you with a deafening screech. The sheer force of her single swipe knocked both you and Wyatt to the ground. A flying dagger darted across the sky and stung into the monstrous animal, finally bringing it down. Oh. You two alright there? We are, thanks to you. We may be bandits, but we do have our own rules. We don't turn on those who fight alongside us. Rules from a group of thieves. Be that as it may, but we do what we must to help the less fortunate. At any rate, my name is Gisela. All bandits in Coral Ridge answer to me. Take your belongings and go. If you run into our kin, throw my name, and they will back off. One-eyed bandit led your horses before you and handed you the reins with his bloody arm. You're bleeding. Here, let me take a look. You carefully inspected his wounds and applied some honey to stop the bleeding. You won't regain your sight in that eye, but some medicine may speed up the healing. After retrieving your over-prepared medical supplies from your pack, you begin combining various herbs and grinding them into a fine mixture. You're a healer? I've been learning. A noble woman who doesn't flinch at the sight of blood and gore, huh? Interesting. Wearing a dress does not make me weak, Gisela. On that, we can all agree. Name's Taki, by the way. I got that. Well met, Taki. Now stay still. With care, you coated his eye with the mixture and bandaged up the gushing wounds on his arms. Curious bandits began gathering up around you, all with severe wounds here and there. You took the hint and began mixing another batch of herbal medicine. Those eagles are rather ferocious. Were they trying to eat us? No, sprite eagles don't eat flesh. They only go for fruits in the rainforest. Those Zalian bastards built a stronghold where they nest. Now they're just out attacking people. Oh, they disturbed their nest. Zalian. Queen Megaris. She's hurting the nature. Queen Megaris of Zale. She's hurting nature. Interesting. Now just out attacking people. Zalians? What are they doing in Trespian territory? You didn't know? Zalian men have been crossing the border to harvest resources in our rainforest. They're cutting trees down and hunting all kinds of exotic animals. The soldiers are here to make sure they get it done. They even stop our own people from entering the rainforest. Those bastards have no regard for lives except their own. And that useless regent did nothing about it while Zell kept our people out of jobs and necessary supplies. Regent? She's talking about Uncle Osmond. Did he really allow this? Of course he did, sweetheart. Why would King Megaris do this? And why would my uncle stop her? Though your mind pondered, your hands never stopped tending to the wounded. The pain yowls among wounded bandits gradually diminished. So, what's your story, little healer? Got bored of embroidering in your man and decided to run away with the handsome knight? No. I mean, Wyatt is my protector, like a brother. Definitely not saying that. Much rather run away with someone like you. Now, also not going to say that. I mean, I'm not against romancing her, but I'm not going to, say that I prefer her over him because I don't know that yet. He took Wyatt's hand into yours to reinforce the statement. The Queen's Guard wrapped his large palm around yours in response. His skin was rough from intense weapons training. In a way, it offered you a sense of comfort and security. A little smirk. You two are going to make me throw up with those lover looks. No, I'm not. We aren't. Yes, you're a knight and she's your lady. You're not meant to be with her and such, and yet you're out here with her. No need to make excuses. I don't care enough to judge. Not noble people elope all the time. It's not my business. I just take their valuables and use them to feed the poor. It's as good as a backstory as any, and she's right in a way. At any rate, we still don't know who you are. We tend to learn the names of those we're indebted to, and those we owe a beating to. If anyone does you wrong, we'll gladly get our hands dirty for you. All right. Hey, you know what? That pen? It looks exactly like the pen that they give to the hand of the king in Game of Thrones. That won't be necessary, Taki. My name is Melody. A pleasure to meet you all. Melody? You bear the same name as the new queen. Not a majesty, are you? By the ancestors. I just told them my real name without thinking twice about it. Don't be daft. The queen was just coronated today. Why would she be out here with us now? At the royal guards, nonetheless. That's true. Silly me. The bandits burst into laughter and mockery of Taki's foolishness. The one-eyed bandit didn't seem to mind one bit and poured his loud guff into the mix. Thank goodness. Well, regardless of your noble title, you gave your birthright up when you ran away with a man. Snobby noblemen are not exactly forgiving of unmarried ladies who do that and bring shame upon their houses, I suppose. I'll tell you what, your healing skills could help a lot of people in need. I can rob as many noblemen as I want, but a few slivers cannot cure sickness. Do we not have skilled physicians in Trespia? They've all gone to the capital to treat those who can afford their services. That's just wrong. Healers should help those in need, not those who can afford a living in Linares. Cannot agree more. That's why I'm going to make you a proposal. Join us. Come with us on our distribution trips to the villages and treat the sick people. In exchange, you'll have a protection and a place to stay, both you and your companion. Path of rationality. I'll only do this if you stop robbing travelers. Unfortunately, this is what we do. If we didn't take from the rich, we'd have nothing to give to the villagers. I can, however, promise you that we won't hurt anyone we rob, nor will we take from those who truly need their silvers. Fine. You won't be pillaging with us regardless. You're only required for the distribution trips as our healer. It's probably as good as it's going to get. Neither of us has much choice in this matter. Very well, Gisela. I accept your terms. Are you sure Wyatt covered his unwise choice of words with a nervous cough. What I'm saying is, Melody, these people are bandits. We shouldn't be associating with them. What? Too precious to hang with us outlaws who actually try to help the poor instead of polishing swords that are really used? Hey, my sword just saved you, lot. No, it really didn't. Your lady's magic powder did. It's fiery powder, and please, stop fighting. We're all trying to help here. Fine. We'll distribution trip in the morning. Best head back to the keep and get some rest, yes? For sure. Get everyone ready. We're heading back. Now, where's my knife? Lily approached the fallen sprite eagle and proceeded to pull her knife out. It's not dead. The enormous sprite eagle once again lit up from the tearing pain as she tried to defend herself against the female bandit, but with such a grave wound, even her own weight had become a burden. Ugh. Guess I'll just go ahead and end her suffering. Let me do it. These bastards took my eye. Wait. Doesn't deserve to die. It's not their fault. Should I be rational or compassionate? Rational or compassionate? Right now I'm kind of keeping them kind of close, I think. Last time we did a compassion thing where technically we're on a path of rationality, and I like it so far. I think I like it so far. It's not like mean, it's just like, you know, like queen-like. I'm trying to think like queen-like, because I usually always do very, very nice. And sometimes we can be super nice. But I mean, it's not their fault. It's a pretty good show. People took their homes and cut down their food source. They were just trying to fight back. Regardless, this thing is beyond saving. A quick death is the greatest mercy we can offer it. I think I can stop the bleeding. Took cautious steps toward the wounded creature and applied some of the herbal mixture to its wound. Don't worry, I'm not here to hurt you. Perhaps it was a soothing tone in your words or the ability to understand them, but the Sprite Eagle surprisingly relaxed her claws and lowered her wings, allowing you to treat her wound. It hurts, I know. I'm sorry. You finished applying medicine to the Sprite Eagle and turned to the bandit leader. Can I bring this eagle with me, Gisela? I wish to clean and bandage her wound up properly. I don't see the point in that, but fine, have it your way. Just keep it away from my people. Don't worry, she's far too injured to move a muscle. Alright everyone, let's get on a move before daybreak. Let's put somewhere to sleep. Give me a hand, Wyatt, she's very heavy. They're gently placing the wounded Sprite Eagle on your horseback. You took the reins and started leading your horse while walking on foot. No, Melody, take my horse. I'll walk. He'll never let me walk while he rides. We can ride together. Are you sure about that? Why not? He offered you his arm and helped you up onto his horse, then hopped on behind you and pulled on the reins. As the horse started galloping, you felt Wyatt's muscular arm holding you tight against him to prevent you from falling off. Mind if I close my eyes for a little bit? I'm exhausted. You have had a long day. Get some rest. Leaning back, you rested your head on the Queen's Guard chest. His broad shoulders gave you a feeling of security, as if they could have held the skies where they were to collapse and fall. The warm breath blowing on your forehead had you lifting your head to look up at your protector. Sleep well, Melody. Soon the moonlight faded, darkness became your blanket, sending you to a world of dreams while tucked comfortably in Wyatt's arms. Music is so nice. After some twists and turns, Gisela led everyone through a wall of hanging vines to a wooden fence lined with flaming torches. The sudden brightness was almost blinding. Two brawny bandits pushed open a giant gate to allow everyone in. There were numerous wooden sheds inside the keep. Go ahead and take the hut to the east. We usually treat the wounded there. You'll find some bandages inside. Do you all get injured often? Every damn time we clash with those alien bastards. They've been raiding the village. Raiding? What are they taking from the poor villagers? What don't they take? Duke Osmond permitted them to rob our people and take whatever they want. That's why we have to fight for the villagers. No one else will otherwise. Without another word, the bandit leader made her way inside one of the huts. Got a glimpse of defeat in her eyes before she closed the door. Don't Uncle Osmond really do all this? It can't be. He's the kindest man I've ever known. He raised me, taught me everything he knows. Looked around, the bandits had already dispersed from the group. Some were cleaning their wounds, some took out half-eaten bread and began their very late evening meals. What do you want the Sprite Eagle, Melody? I think she's scaring some of the bandits. Let's take her to my hut. I can bandage her up in there. Wyatt nodded obediently and carried the giant bird of prey inside. Get some rest. I'll be right outside, just in case. You should wait in here. No, Wyatt. Go sleep. I'll be fine. But that's an order. As you wish. I'm taking the shed right next to yours. Should you require my assistance, I'll be there. You could also just take my bed. Good night, Wyatt. I'd quit. See you in the morning, Melody. The Queen's Guard exited and gave you another worried look before shutting the door. You took some bandages out of the supply cache by your bed. Now, let's get you all fixed up. The weakened beast half opened her eyes, blinking slowly like a sleepy kitten on your lap. Can we keep her? I want her. As long as you don't go around fighting people, you'll be able to fly again soon. The reassuring pat, you reach for your pack and grab some of the fruit that you intend to share with Wyatt on the trip. Here, have some food. It will help you heal. The excited Sprite Eagle let out a faint glow and brushed her head on your hand affectionately before proceeding to devour the fruit. Feeling weary, you flopped on the bed. It was hard as a rock. I've just become a queen today, and now I'm sleeping on a bed like this. You ran your fingers along the straw sheets. The rough surface felt like it could grind your skin off. To think this is how people outside the castle are living every day. It's unacceptable. We have a rainforest with the sturdiest wood and softest cotton in the world. People should be sleeping on soft beds and eating proper food. Zingans have no right to take that from them. Perhaps I will find out more about the motive behind what they are doing. Clanging sounds of metal interrupted your thoughts. Sounds like Wyatt is finally taking his armor off for bed. He's not getting along well with Gisela. What she does is entirely against everything he believes in. They are both kind people with good intentions, but how can I make him understand that? The tiredness was overwhelming. Soon, your thoughts started bleeding into nonsense, and your eyes grew heavy until you drifted off into the oblivion of sleep. Morning, sunshine. Fancy some rabbit stew? Oof! Fighting through the aches in every inch of your body, you sat up on your bed and opened your eyes to the sight of Tacky wrestling with the Sprite Eagle. Foul-smelling, gray-colored goo, presumably the rabbit stew, was spilled all over the floor. Hey, stop fighting in my hut! As if understanding your words, the Sprite Eagle collapsed its wing and stepped away from Taki right when your worried Queensguard stormed into the door. Are you alright, Melody? Did he attack you? No, I was just delivering our lady guest some breakfast. I cooked it myself. Back in the castle, no one would dare enter my chamber without notifying Delius or the warrior guards first. These bandits are obviously unaware of such formalities. They're merely genuine with their intentions. You too kind, Taki. Hey, don't mention it. Saved our asses last night. This is nothing. Here, let me go fetch you another bowl. That won't be necessary. I'll just have some fruit. You're lost, princess. I'm eating your share, too. Amidst the laughter, Gisela entered your hut. It appeared that not even a light-footed bandit could anticipate rabbit stew at the doorstep. Hey, I just cleaned my boots. What's that stench? Ugh, I told you not to go for those rabbits by the sewer. Well, you're supposed to eat it while it's scalding hot so you won't taste it. Now, wanting to take another step into the spilled stew, Gisela tossed a small pack onto your bed. We're heading out shortly. It is best that you two change into something less noble-like if you don't want to startle the villagers. Thank you, Gisela. Do you have something for Wyatt to wear too? Got some spare armor in the stash. Come. After everyone cleared out, you untied the cloth pack from Gisela. Ooh. Cute. Oh, shiz. Or basic. No. Is it crazy? I kind of like this one a bit more. This one's like sexy. This is pretty cool though. Alright. We'll go with Deli. Let's see what hairstyles to come up with. Alright. Side braid. A braided bob. Ooh. Nice. Or keep current hair. Or high bun. Let's go with the side braid. Somebody was like, in order to like not mind all the changing hair colors, just to think that your character is always wearing a wig. And that they didn't spend like 4 hours like curling their hair. Gotta look just like one of the bandits. Time to get some answers. Alright, the cart is full. Yula will have to grab the rest and carry them to the village. The bandits started grunting in displeasure as they picked up various sacks of food from the storage shed. Hey, stop taking on the bread. I'm not carrying those huge sacks of potatoes again. Why not use our horses? They should be able to carry the rest of it. As long as you're fine with walking on foot like the rest of us. I was just looking for some morning exercise anyway. This time Wyatt came out of his hut carrying his silver plate armor in his arms with a frown, wincing. It's alright, Wyatt. Your arm isn't going anywhere. I know, it's just... Queensguard darted a doubtful glance at the group of bandits. What? You think of us as such scum? We don't steal from our allies, we only take with a cause. Is there ever just a cause to steal? If you dislike us and I weigh so much, you're free to go on your merry way. Hey! You took Wyatt's side. Why is not wrong, Gisela? Regardless of your reasons, you should never rob. We can always try a different way. A way that won't hurt either side. Thank you for your understanding, Melody. Gisela shook her head dejectedly. If there was another way, don't you think we'd have tried that already? We're bandits, princess. This is what we do. Look, I'm not asking for your approval, nor correlation considering our methods. We do what we can do to aid the helpless. You're a healer and you have a sword. Help them in your own ways, that's all I ask. That's our goal as well, Gisela. Good. Now that we've reached an understanding, shall we set off? One last thing before we go. You open the door to your hut and wave at the Sprite Eagle. Your wound will heal. Go back to your family. No one will hurt you. Mama's bird of prey stepped out of the hut, a head lifted up with resolve and intimidation. Instead of spreading her wings and flying away, the Sprite Eagle walked towards you, ignoring all the gasp around her, and lowered her head before you. By the ancestors, the feather bastard is tamed. It's never going to leave you now. Tamed? As vicious as they are, these eagles are loyal creatures. Once tamed, they will defend their masters until they die. It's a fool's errand to attempt it, though. Most just end up getting killed. So consider yourself lucky, Melody. You may have gained a powerful companion. Only if you weren't around, of course. Should I keep the Sprite Eagle? Yeah. You're gonna stay with me now, Big Birdie. Sprite Eagle is now yours to command. Hey! I suppose I should give you a name. Ooh. I usually always name my pets Axel. However, I think this one's a girl. Aurora. That's very pretty, and I like that. We'll stick with that one. Aurora. I'm gonna call you Aurora. Aurora. Do you like it? Well, are you coming to the village with us, Aurora? Lead on, Gisela. Cool morning breezes sent you the refreshing smell of fresh soil mixed with morning blossoms. Aurora hovered above you in circles, making a gentle screech every time you looked at her. It's alright, go get yourself some breakfast. The Sprite Eagle flew away, leaving trails of fallen leaves as she dove through branches. With birds and crickets singing forest songs in your ears, you walked alongside Gisela until the forest path led you to a peaceful village. Look, everyone, it's Gisela. I love her little freckles. Yes, Katie, we're here. How's your mother? Is she still sick? Yes, Mama told me she was fine, but she's coughing until her face is all red. I know she's not feeling well. How long has she been coughing, Katie? The little girl's eyes widened in disbelief as her gaze landed on your uniquely colored eyes. Who is this pretty lady, Gisela? Is she a witch? No, Melody is a healer. She's here to treat your mother. Really? You're here to help Mama? Thank you, thank you. Come, I'll take you to her. You give the band leader a questioning look. Go. We'll be rationing the food out in the meantime. I'll come with you, Melody. Actually, it may be a little inconvenient for you to be there if I have to diagnose her body. How about you go and help everyone unload the cart? Then they could use your help handing the food out. As you wish. Yes, help me deliver these heavy sacks of potatoes, please. Before the Queen's Guard could protest, Taki dumped 2 huge bags of potatoes into his arms. Oof. Well, I better go. I'll come find you when I'm done, Wyatt. I'll meet up with you after Gisela. I'll be back soon, everyone. I want to spend some time with Gisela. Come find you when I'm done, Wyatt. Why do I feel like... Ooh, I don't want to miss out on Wyatt romance, though. Of course, I'll wait for you by the river, Melody. Somewhere alone by the river? Yeah, I think that was the right choice. Hey, stop stacking these potatoes on me. I can hardly see the road ahead. Yeah, stop your whining already. I'll make sure you won't trip, alright? You were the one whining first about carrying the potatoes. Letting out a slight chuckle, you turned around and followed Katie into a small, dilapidated hut. A hanging sheet of linen made its best attempt to serve as a door's purpose. Mama, we have a healer. Hut was almost empty inside. Other than an iron cooking pot on a fire pit, it was furnished only by a simple stone bed with a straw pillow. I'm sorry, I don't have silvers for a physician. Oh. Don't worry. My name is Melody. Gisela brought me here. I'm here to cure your cough. You're too kind, Melody. I'm Bianca. You share the same name as with our new queen. Her Majesty is half as kind as you. There may yet be hope for Trespia. People are bestowing their faith upon me. I must do what I can to protect them. Mama, I'm thirsty. Ooh. Young woman in rags stood up and reached for the kettle, then suddenly fell victim to a vicious chain of coughs. Mama? Mama's fine. Don't worry, baby. How long have you been coughing like this, Bianca? A good few months now. It started when when I fell out of the fishing boat into Everfrost Lake. Everfrost Lake? No. It's too dangerous to fish there. I read it in a book. The lake bed is all ice that has never melted for thousands of years. The cold water must have caused serious frostbite to your lungs. That's why you're coughing. You need to stay warm until you fully recover, Bianca. You can't go to Everfrost Lake again. I have no choice. My father was a fishmonger. This is about the only thing I can do. Bianca glanced at her daughter, who was sipping water from a clay bowl with a blissful smile. The alien soldiers won't let us into the rainforest. I can live with a loaf of bread a day, but not Katie. She's but a child, and with the taxes. Taxes? Yes, the Earl and his men come to collect silvers from us every fortnight. Everyone has to pay. Who's the Earl? So every 2 weeks they come to collect silvers. Collecting taxes. I don't understand. To my knowledge, kingdom taxes are only collected from noblemen. It's in the Trespian Book of Law. You studied the law book? Aren't you a healer? I got a copy from a trader. At any rate, who's this Earl and why is he taking so many silvers from the villagers? You don't know? Oh, Earl Reinhold is the monarch of Coral Ridge. He rules this province under Her Majesty's name. I see. The taxes we have to pay the Earl, we're barely getting by. Now with these alien soldiers taking over the rainforest, we have nothing to survive on. The fish in the Everfrost Lake are rich and fat. It's risky, but I get to keep Katie fed and make some silvers to get her fresh milk every morning. Look, Bianca, I can give you all the medicine in the world, but you won't heal unless you stop hurting yourself. If it gets any worse, even the best physicians will not be able to cure you. Hoba's mother turned her head, looking at Katie with a bitter smile. You caught despair in her eyes, and she shifted her gaze back to you. Must be something I can do. Give her your golden bangle. Yeah. Obviously. You glance at the engraved... How does it give me... as I'm giving assets away, it somehow gives me assets? You glance at the engraved golden bangle on your wrist. Its fine crafted surface reflected the morning sunlight into beautiful golden rays. Pretty. This was the first item the bandits took off me last night. Even though they returned it back to me after the fight, it must be worth the most of everything I have. Here, take this and exchange it for some silvers. Get yourself some food while you heal. If you have any spare, buy yourself a woolen coat to keep yourself warm when you go fishing at Everfrost Lake again. With this much gold, I can even get a big sturdy fishing boat and bring some villagers to fish with me. Thank you, Melody. I'm forever in your debt. Ah. The assets, even though we're giving things away, the assets are people, I think. I think that might come in handy. Because we're going to need our kingdom backing behind us. And to gain the trust of the people, we're going out interacting with people, all the different people, helping all those people along the way. And then when we need them the most, they'll be there to have our back. So those are the assets. The people, not actual items. Once I fully recover, I'll purchase a boat and form a fishing crew with the village's able bodies. With any luck, we might just be able to keep our stomachs full without relying on Gisela so much. Mick will be able to recover fully and contribute to the village. Oh. Will Mama be better, pretty lady? Yes, Katie. With my medicine, your mother will feel better. Yay! Having mixed numerous herbs in your milling bowl, you portion the medicine into various tiny pouches and hand them to Bianca, who accepted them with gratitude. I thank the ancestors for sending you here, Melody. May the spirits guide your path. I wish I could give you more, but I can't. Not right now. Take good care of your mother, Katie. Yes, I will, pretty lady. You encourage the little girl with a gentle smile before leaving the small, doorless hut they called home. Honestly, they look like they all could be her family. Especially with their hair color right now. Wow. Wow. What a pretty sight. The exit path led you to the river, carrying a clear water downstream to the village. Well, at the least the villagers have a clean water source. Even as aliens cannot take that away. Well, they could if they pollute it, but... You knelt down and dipped your hand into the water. The pleasant chillness, refreshing breeze, and warm sunlight drew your eyes close in pleasure. Done so soon? Hey, there you are. How's distribution? Taki was trying to race me on that. Looks like I'm the winner here. A queen's guard against a bandit? That's not even a fair match. He asked for it. Well, I bet we have some time to kill here before they join us. Want to spar? I could use some training. For sure. Are you ready? Yes, don't be gentle either. I want to be better so I can protect myself while I'm out here. As you wish. As you were still shifting your foot into a fighting stance, Queen's Guard had already begun his attack. What should I do? Scream, kick, fall, kick. Quick reflexes demonstrated strength. Yay! That hesitation, you swung your foot at Wyatt's ankle. Queen Guard easily evaded your kick. Not bad. The aiming could be a little more precise, though. I wasn't ready, Wyatt. Enemies don't usually wait for you to get ready for battle, Melody. You smacked him playfully on his forearm and pushed the chortle out of him. We should do this more often. We used to do this when we were young, remember? But ever since Lord Osmond started preparing you for the throne. That was when you started going all formal on me. I know. You even stopped calling me by my name. I really miss the old times when you would laugh and yell freely around me, Wyatt. Despite his huge figure towering over you, the Queen's Guard took your hand in his like a lost little boy, eyes silently conveying guilt and affection. Lifting yourself on your toes, you brought your lips to Wyatt's and stole a kiss that felt like the culmination of 1,000 years of longing. The Queen's Guard parted his lips in confusion, however briefly, before holding your cheeks and pulling you into a kiss of unending passion. Let's get another picture. I like this background. His hands soon glided behind your ears, fingers intertwining with your hair. It felt like he was securing his reach to a world so distant that it was almost unapproachable. Then, just when you were starting to lose yourself in his warming embrace, he withdrew himself, taking with him that short-lived bliss and left you wanting. What's wrong, Wyatt? Forgive me, Melody, I shouldn't have done that. It's the Queen's Guard oath, isn't it? Let alone the fact that you're my queen, I swore a vow of celibacy. I can never be the man for you. What? When'd you do that? Oh no! Regardless, I'm no royalty, not even of noble blood. Your hand shot out and took a hold of his arms. You know I don't care for those, Wyatt. You stare by the Trespian crown. Your reputation itself can bring a whole kingdom down. I shall never betray you, my queen or Trespia, or I won't be worthy of honor as your Queen's Guard. Well, I'm not wearing my queen right now, Wyatt. My crown right now, Wyatt. I just really miss you, Wyatt. The real you, not this big armored man who hardly smiles anymore. You squeeze his arms in reassurance. Please, stop being so virtuous just for a few days while we're out here. Fine, I'll try my best, as long as I don't break the vow. Thank you, Wyatt. Ah, there you are. Look at all these leftovers. An overjoyed Taki rushed over with mostly empty cart. The rest of the band is followed behind him, chuckling. What are you waiting for? Grab a banana and pour yourself some milk. Yes, it's time for some real food, brothers. You all eating only the leftovers from distribution trips? Yes, let this rule just so we won't ever forget our only reason to form this brotherhood, to become outlaws. Lose that purpose and we're no better than those who exploit the helpless for their own selfish desires. That's surprisingly chivalrous of you. Oh, the high-principled knight approves of my ways. How nice. How about a banana pie to celebrate these bountiful leftovers? Banana pie? You never had banana pies before? They're so good. Do we look like we're the kind to cook pies together, Missy? Chalky, stinky rabbit stew is the closest thing to cooking among us. Then it's all set up. I'm baking you all a huge banana pie. Aw, does it mean we have to wait? I'm really hungry now. Molly's cooking is worth a little patience, take my word for it. We have most of the ingredients here, I just need some butter and sugar. You can buy them from Haba, the bread maker. I'll take you to him. I'll come with you too. Alright, let's go. The marketplace was not far from the river. Drizella, knowing the village inside and out, led you down a quiet path across the alley. A buttery scent filled the air, telling you that your destination was just around the corner. Here, through the bushes. You and Wyatt followed Drizella through the disheveled bunch of random florals, a hopeless attempt at decoration by the villagers. One day, I'm gonna rebuild them a real garden here. I bet Katie will like it. Morning, Haba. Hey, if it isn't Drizella. Old man lifted his friendly gaze from you to Wyatt, Wrinkles on his lower face gathered into a warm smile. I see you've taken on a couple of new recruits. This is Melody and this is Wyatt. They're helping us with the food distribution. How do you do, Haba? Greetings, Haba. Ah, such well-mannered, beautiful younglings. At any rate, are you all here for some bread? I have the batch just fresh out of the oven. Actually, do you have some spare sugar and butter we can buy, Haba? Absolutely. Haba hunched over the back of his stall and took out the requested ingredients, filling them in 2 small clay bowls. There'll be 15 coppers. Just one moment. Bailey began counting coppers from her coin pouch when a small figure bounced in. Haba, a loaf of bread, please. Of course, one fresh loaf of bread coming up for little Katie. It's not for me. Mama's finally hungry for food again. The excited little girl wrapped both her tiny arms around your elbow. The zeller brought the pretty lady here. She healed Mama. I have a name, you know. You can just call me Melody. Yes, Melody. You healed Bianca's cough? I gave her some medicine, but the healing would take time. Then Gisela placed a cluster of coppers on the stall counter. There you go. How much is Katie's bread? I'll pay for that too. No. Now that I know you've all come here and healed Bianca, I won't charge a single copper. How about shove the bowl into your hands? Take these. Consider them a token of appreciation from me. I can't just take your things for free, Haba. Physicians don't even step foot in our village anymore. Ivydale has been entirely without healers or medicine. Bianca's like a daughter to me. Your presence here is a blessing. Just let no man be grateful, will you? Thank you, Haba. Now, let me fetch you that bread from the oven, Katie. Suddenly fear washed over his face. Following his glance, you saw a carriage accompanied by numerous riders on horseback entering the village. It's time for taxes. The Earl, he's here to collect again. You all need to hide. Take Katie with you too. There. We can hide in the bushes. Wait it out until they're done. Shouldn't be too long. Keep Katie safe. For her sake, don't expose yourself, no matter what happens. What are you... You're here. Go. What do you mean, no matter what happens? The 4 of you rushed behind a flower bush nearby. You peeked through a gap between 2 bushes. A dozen muscular men crowded the marketplace, collecting silvers from every stall. Between them stood an exceptionally well-grown man, quietly observing his men doing their work. That's a shame. He's hot, but he's evil. That's Earl Reinhold? Of course. Who else will extort silvers from these poor folks? Silvers were gathered from every villager and put into the linen sacks that were quickly growing hefty. Then they were at Haba's stall. You're 2 silvers short, old man. I'm sorry, sir. There was a rat problem last week. I lost a lot of my supplies. If I'm allowed 1 more week to sell more bread... Shut up. It's your own duty to pay your taxes on time. I want no excuses. The waiting man raised his fist above the bread maker's face. Pay it before I punch your face in. I just need a little more time. Please, I'm begging you. We need to help him. They're gonna hurt Haba. No, we can't. There are too many of them, and Katie's with us. We can't get her involved. Seeing the cowering little girl holding back worried tears, you knew Zella was right. What? Are we just supposed to hide in here and do nothing? The 3 of us charging in is the same as doing nothing. If we're to do anything, I need my men here. But even without my men, we cannot go against that bastard like this. He's the most powerful man in this region. It'd be a bloodbath on our end. You're right. We need to be careful. We need to find a way to call your people here before they harm the old man. Yes, let's do something and fast. I cannot sit by and allow that to happen. I know it's going to be hard to bear, but we might just have to wait until they're done. If anything, I know he needs the villagers for his taxes. Probably a few intimidating punches, then they will leave. You asked for it, old man. Much to your horror, the goon began beating the bread maker, 1 punch, then another. Old man was begging at first, but after a few hits, he hardly had enough strength left in him to open his eyes. That's quite enough, Cyril. Cyril. I'll remember that. Cyril. Kill him. The henchman stopped obediently and released Haba, who flopped down on the ground. Please, have mercy on me, my lord. Do no punishment for not paying your taxes. Apparently getting beating. Is there more to it? Bind him. He's gonna spend whatever's left of his life in the dungeon. Are you kidding? He's 2 silvers short, and you sentence him to life in your dungeon? Earl Reinhold. Kill him too. Yes, my lord. No. Before Zola could stop you, you rose from the bushes and charged before the hefty man, whose eyes widened to your sudden appearance. Who are you? You ignored the confused goon and stared right at the well-postured nobleman behind him. How could you have done this to an old man? Have you no shame, Earl Reinhold? Wow. Wow. Okay. That was wild. That was wild. I think we did okay as far as our choices go. But it says you became a reluctant guest of Earl Reinhold. Perhaps some answers were in place. Ooh. Okay, that'll be interesting. Let's see. The eagle choice is the one that costs a lot of gems. 105? Dang, that eagle better be worth it. He's so cute though. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, I'm invested. The story is awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I think there's 2 more episodes to play. So I'm gonna play those soon. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and show a like button, some love, subscribe to more content like this, and I will see you next time. Bye.